Hi guys, good morning. It's Shantae from Momentum Bookkeeping and Financial Consultants. Now, this morning I wanted to come to you with the explanation of the post that I made on Instagram in regards to how I budget. I budget by paycheck, number one, and I budget by system using the calendar method. Now, what that means is whenever I get paid, I indicate on my calendar, first of all, I indicate on my calendar when I get paid. I indicate all on my calendar, all my fixed expenses, everything that I know that's going to be recurring for the month. I indicate those, and then that allows me to see visually, because I'm a visual budgeter, it allows me to see everything that needs to be paid with that paycheck. Okay, so I'm going to try to, I have guests today, so I'm going to show you an example of how I do my, if you can see this is in my financial budget planner, and this is literally just a calendar that I have developed and created, and what I do here is I list all my expenses, and then I also indicate when me and my husband get paid. So with that indication, whenever I do the breakdown of my expenses that I pay for the week on another schedule, my income and expense by paycheck sheet, this will let me know, okay, this is what we're going to apply here on this, say May 6th was when we got paid. So this is what I'm going to entail here, all my my fixed expenses, and if I have any cash envelopes, I'll deduct that as well. But because I do the calendar method, this is an easy indication just by looking at the calendar what I'm going to place on this here sheet. Okay, so that allows me to see, of course I know we're getting paid. Of course I know that these expenses are going to fall for this paycheck. And the monthly calendar just gives you an overall view of what you have for the month. Now, in addition to doing the monthly calendar budget, I then write down my analysis for the month. Now, this is where it allows you to see everything that you've done, all the damage that you've done, right? So the reason why I put this in my financial budget planner is because it's important. It allows you to see where it all goes, and I'm going to show you now. Okay, so in this sheet that I have in my financial budget planner, I have 3 sheets. Now this is good because before I was more than 3 sheets. Now my goal was to actually kind of get down to 1 sheet, but we're not quite there yet. So where did it all go worksheet, I literally write down everything that I've done for the month, and it allows me to highlight if I had takeout under a certain category, if I did miscellaneous expenses. Now for the month of May, I say I can average, we spend about $100 on takeout. Now that is a little bit much because, you know, I know it's COVID and all, but you know, if I could have cut that down to maybe perhaps 50, because to be honest, the one thing that we take out is either pizza, and I know what that cost for us to feed for takeout for pizza. So we did a little extra there, and then I did a little miscellaneous of like $40 of something, right? So with this spreadsheet, this allows me to see the damage on a full monthly basis. This is important. This is what I do. This is all what I do when I budget. So again, starting with the month budgeting calendar, that is very helpful. I go back to that because sometimes if I forget something, I can be like, you know what, I forgot to include this expense that I know it's coming on this date. Okay, so then I have my savings tracker that I use. This all is flowing from the monthly calendar that I have, and then from there I go to my savings tracker and I put down my savings. Now, how did we do for the month of May? We didn't quite hit our budget for savings. I think we may have hit it by like 70% for what I budgeted, just because we probably spent a little extra, which was probably in the takeout that I did not budget for. We went over budget. So guys, I just wanted to make it quick. I budget by the calendar method And I've been working on this financial budget planner. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it right now, but it has been the best tool that I have made for myself and my family, customized to my needs. And I'm kind of giving it like an accountant's point of view, like, you know, bookkeeping kind of view. So it's not just, you know, it is a detailed type of planner, but it also just lets you know your position every part of the month, which is very important. After you get paid, you should know your position. When you get familiar with budgeting, you're going to know your position right out the back. Like, it takes time, but you're going to be like, okay, you know what, we don't have this, but if we do this, we can afford this. You'll be able to know your budget inside and out because it is something that is set in place, that it's going to be standard. And having a budget is pretty much what's the word? It's just allowing you to let the budgeting process take over. Okay, you're going to put yourself aside and have more self-control with spending, and you're going to let the budget that you put in place take over. It's going to be a realistic budget, but you're going to let it take over. It's going to be written on paper so you can visually see where you are, but you're going to let it take over. And so going back to the budget planner, this is the best tool ever. If you're ever into budgeting, if you're ever into planning, get you a budget planner that you can see, make sure it has a calendar so you can visually see. You're planting your plots, you're planting your paychecks, you're planting your expenses, your fixed expenses, okay? So this is important. This is what saved my life. This is what transformed from our financial house from January 2020 to now, okay? To say that we, number one, are doing what we're supposed to do as with our church. We are giving our 10%, and before that wasn't always the case. You know, I would give, but it wasn't quite 10%. And this was just, you know, all that like, oh, I don't have any money, but you know what? Giving is priority, and giving is what we ought to be doing. So I was able to now do that, and it feels good because, you know, if you belong to a church, you know how much they spend, you know how much. It's just the right thing to do. You know, it's just the right thing to do. Excuse me. I have my tea here because I woke up a little congested. The allergies is like going crazy right now. So my favorite mug, guys. This is my favorite mug. I love this. It has the scripture of Jeremiah 29:11 and 13, and I use this every day. Okay, going back. So this is important. I don't know if anyone would want a copy of this, but my whole packet that I have, it's like this. It's this thick. So I have a lot of things here, but this is what's helped me. This is what transformed me. This is what has put us back on track, is developing these pages to help the average person that's trying to budget get their self together, get their financial house and get together. Okay. So again, I have an actual budget sheet that I used, and I have an actual, my grocery list. That's one of my biggest accomplishments was being able to get a grocery list in order and stick to the budget while shopping at your big wholesale distributors, which I never thought we'd be able to afford, and we're doing it. So I'm thankful that I took this step to say, you know what, we need to get this stuff in order. So we have to be integral about a lot of things, and we have to be integral about our choices we make. So this is one of the first steps that we're doing to be integral for 2020. So as my kids start to go and play, I'm going to sign off, but I just wanted to make this clear what I'm doing, what is allowing me to achieve the growth that we've come to so far. So guys, this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it helpful. Leave me a comment, because I'd love to hear from how everyone's budgeting. What help do you need? I also like to analyze certain things and kind of like position certain bills certain ways, so I know it's not digging down into my paycheck every time we get paid. So I mean, it's a process, it's an analytical process, but it's something that it needs to be done, guys. Just I look at how we lived since we've been married, and it was just like, what are we doing? Like, you know, you don't know if you can pay this, you don't know what you have because it's soaked up in something else that's not necessary, or just to be a blessing to someone, you don't have it. Although we should give when we don't have, but my gosh, like, it wasn't even a clear picture. So now we have a clear picture of where we are today, and it feels great. So I highly suggest you guys get a budget together, do it for the rest of the year, give to your church, give to a organization, not-for-profit organization that you truly believe in, and just let the Lord bless you so you can bless others. Have a good day, and chat with you soon. Bye-bye.